Do you know about the Bretton Woods system?
No.
You ever heard of that? So the Bretton Woods system, this is wild. This is the Chrissy Distefano section of the show. So I do a history section.
Teach me.
We do a mental health section called Anxiety Tuesday, a history section, Chrissy Distefano, and then an excerpt from the book, The 48 Laws of Power. And by the way, Tristan brought a book too that's fucking wild. It's about ancient alien races.
That also goes into the 48 powers.
What is it? The 48 Laws of Power. So the Bretton Woods system was after the wars, after World War II. We basically, everybody got together, the entire world. This is fucking wild. By
the way, World War II was over technology, but that's some.
We're going to get to that. I'm sure we're going to talk about ancient alien races and the Nazis were aliens and all that stuff. Which is going to get it's going to get explosion. Dude, Tristan's mind, I'm telling you, when Tristan texts me, I fucking, anytime you see
Sometimes I think you get mad because you're like, bro, why you even, like when I text you about
No, dude, my balls get blown off.
You're giving me more anxiety. Like I text you stuff and I'm making you more nervous.
Dude, almost anytime you see me post an Anxiety Tuesday video on my Instagram, it's usually coming off the heels of a text message from Tristan because he sends me some wild shit, and then I do sit and read it, and sometimes I can't even respond because I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? I'm like, do I just kill myself? So this Bretton Woods system, what it was all the world leaders, like all the countries, everybody got together in frickin' New Hampshire, of all places, New Hampshire in 1945, and they basically decided that the U.S. dollar would be the thing that backs gold. They were like, the U.S. dollar was so strong at the time that all the world's currency, that's another reason why it became a superpower, is because our dollar, the United States dollar, was the thing backing the gold. And then that's how shit worked. And anytime somebody wanted, like money to loan money, we supposedly send them gold, and we were giving out gold and then getting money back, and the same thing was like a simple system. But then in 1971, Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick, said no more gold exchange for the money. We can't do that anymore. And he created like the system that we have now, which is like you could just make paper money.
Print it out.
It's not backed by anything.
Monopoly money.
All the gold got moved to Fort Knox. I think it was always there, but like really, like the Fort Knox thing became like, okay, all our gold is in Fort Knox. And now countries were able to basically be like, oh, instead of giving you gold, the government would give you a government bond. Like we'd borrow money, and instead of getting the gold, what do we got? Oh, Pimp just pulled something up. In contrast to commodity-based money like gold coins or paper bills redeemable for precious metals, fiat money is backed entirely by the full faith and trust in the government that issued it. So one reason this has merit is because governments demand that you pay taxes in the fiat money it issues. So that's what I was going to get to, is fiat money, which, by the way, yesterday we did on my other podcast, Hey Babe, with Sal Vulcano. Shout out Sal Vulcano. Shout out Hey Babe. We were talking about fiat money, and we had no idea what it was. It was like, is this money to buy fucking small cars? I don't know what fiat. I don't know what fiat money is, but now I understand that fiat money is basically what Bitcoin is. It's not backed by anything, but it's also basically what the U.S. dollar is, because what has happened since 1971 and Richard Nixon, there's no gold backing the dollar anymore. So now when we're talking about these $1 trillion stimuluses because of the pandemic, it's genuinely just a guy, like you said, on a ledger on a computer, just wiring. That's not real money. It's just putting numbers, $3 trillion into another bank account in the Federal Reserve,
in a room somewhere,
and then and then we just send it out to the people, and the post office picks up the letters, and it's not real. So people who are like, fuck Bitcoin, it's crazy. It's like the U.S. dollar is even crazier. So I was watching this documentary, and again, this was 10 years ago. This guy Mike Maloney, who was an advisor to the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, was fascinating in this documentary, and he was saying like you need to invest in like precious metals like silver and stuff like that, or if you can get your hands on some gold, because he was like, eventually, he said at that point after the 2008 economic crisis, which he said really was never really gotten over, like it was 4 or 5 years after it happened, he was still like, people feel this impending doom and something really bad's going to happen. And again, 10 years before the pandemic even happened, he was like, if the unemployment rate, which at that time they were saying was like 6%, but it was really like 10%. They were like, if it ever goes over 15 to 20%, we have big problems. Now the unemployment rate's like 50% or something like that. And he was like, once that happens, he was like, it's the beginning of the end. Eventually the US dollar, what's going to happen is you're going to go into hyperinflation, just like Germany did, because we're just printing now more money than we have. And if it ever comes out, out that we don't have the gold to back it, because right now people think
I've heard that we don't have it. I don't. But what do I know? I've never been there,
dude. What do I? I mean, I'm doing a podcast
Are
on
we
my
allowed to
fucking
go there?
couch.
Can you go there? Like, can you visit it?
You can't go to Fort Knox.
So you can't just be like, hey, can I just see and check to make sure it's there? Like,
dude,
they don't allow you to at least just view it.
You're not allowed to go to Fort Knox at all, and that's why, because now it's simply like this. So what this documentary said was, if Saudi Arabia wants to borrow money from us and we say it's backed off gold, the gold never leaves Fort Knox. It literally just gets moved from one heap of gold that says United States to the other heap of gold that says Saudi Arabia, but nobody sees the gold. So so the truth is this, if that is true, that there is no gold backing our U.S. dollar, then what the U.S. government, what the world government is a humongous Ponzi scheme. We keep offering money, they keep loaning out money, and then having to get more money to pay back the loans. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's not real. So what Michael Maloney is my investment guy. Michael Maloney is a guy you should be following on Twitter, or I just followed him, and I was hoping, because I just saw my Bitcoin yesterday, I was hoping that after watching that documentary, he would say nothing about Bitcoin and he would be negative on Bitcoin. The very first fucking tweet was, this is all going to shit. If you're going to do anything, take your money out of Charles Schwab, which is where I have it, and put it into Bitcoin. And I just sold my Bitcoin.
I can't believe you did that, man.
I know, dude. I should have checked with you.
You just did it? You didn't even check with anybody? You didn't ask anybody?
I think we should explain.
Okay, so what happened was, the reason why, so the guy who's been advising me on Bitcoin was my guest on the show last week. His name's Tank Sinatra. Shout out Tank. And he told, and I have another friend, Don DePetta, a.k.a. Donnie Tsunami. Don told me to keep it. Tank said, he was like, dude, I'm selling all my Bitcoin, because yesterday was at $47,000. He was like, it's going to go down to 30 in the next month. So I sold them all. So then I sold mine. But what Tank didn't tell me was that he bought his Bitcoin at like $5,000. So he had already made so much money.
So he
I just bought it a week ago,
yeah.
and I was just up 10 grand, and now I just sold it for no reason.
And I think you're overlooking the TikTok video that inspired him to sell.
Oh, yeah. The reason why he tells me this, after I had already pressed, it says on Coinbase, once you press this button, it is irreversible. I had already pressed it. And I'm like, where are you getting this knowledge from? I thought he was going to say Michael Maloney or some other big investment firm. He was like, oh, I saw a video on TikTok about trusting your gut. I was like,
but can you explain the video? Because the video's nuts that he listened to this.
What was the video?
It was some like lady, some like pretty much Instagram model who was saying, gut feeling is yourself in the future time traveling to your stomach to give you a bad vibe.
Yeah.
Is this what's going on TikTok now?
This what's going on TikTok. And I know I told you that we were gonna get a big house and your son was gonna finally have his own bedroom with lights, but he's not, because I sold the Bitcoin.